Welcome back to the most irregularly hosted podcast on the internet, Cheese La Vida. I'm your host, Mike, with Nathaniel. Last time he slept through the binge, did the podcast fine. This time he was awake for the binge. Now he's once again dead tired.
Yep, exhausted.
So, 17 episodes, one less than season 2. Better quality, I'd say. And the blocks were a lot more organized, especially from season 1. Worldwide recorded concert took place January 12th, 2000. The last 2 episodes were both directed by Eric Stowe, and that was because they weren't even supposed to make an additional 2 episodes. Comedy Central kind of forced them into doing 2 more episodes because they wanted to essentially stop after their Christmas special for the season because, unfortunately, a close friend of theirs, Mary Kay Bergman, had committed suicide shortly, I believe, before the Starvin' Marvin episode came out. I was looking at it a little earlier, and I believe it was November 11th that she committed suicide, and the episode came out on the 19th. That was the last episode to use her dialogue. It was not the last episode she was alive for, but the last one to use her dialogue. So Eric Stowe kind of took over and did the last 2 episodes based on that because they wanted to end the season after that. And then, not to mention, this is peak South Park, 1999. They had the movie come out this year. I mean, they worked on the movie concurrently with the first half of this season, right up until Sexual Harassment Panda, actually. That came out, I believe, a week after the movie, so yeah, I mean, these guys were at, you could argue, even to this day still, their absolute peak, the height of their powers.
Yeah, that would be agreeable.
Do you think that's kind of weird? Because we're almost 20 years removed from this season. And, I mean, I'd argue they've only gotten better at their craft.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten better, but they still, it's still it was still a process, you know what I mean? They were definitely out in the light more during, seasons 3 through, 5. They were going to award shows.
They got more famous, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, but as far as the show...
Well, it's not like, it's what I'm trying to say, it's not like you're going to watch, fucking, a movie award show or a TV award show and see them like South Park. They're not gonna do that,
No.
But in the 90s, maybe the early 2000s, definitely.
But my question still remains: isn't that kind of weird that even though they've gotten better at their craft and maybe gotten more exposure, this is arguably the highest the show, ever got in terms of popularity overall? I mean, Cartman essentially was still kind of a gimmick. You could see traits of personality coming out of these characters, but in the end, people just like seeing them slap each other and do ridiculous shit still. And you can kind of see a semblance of a group coming together, especially at the beginning of Jack Officeers, when you see them sitting around the campfire and, Cartman's singing, well, really just talking shit about his friends, quote unquote. And then he goes and takes a shit, sees Jack off, and he tells his friends, "Hey guys, come check this out." They think he's just talking about his shit. That's the first group dynamic I honestly really felt like after 2 seasons of ridiculous nonsense, essentially, we're finally starting to see some character development, and they've largely recognized that.
Yeah, it was a lot more communication, I guess you could say, when it came to the group coming together and being a little bit more snappy, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like...
What do you mean by snappy?
Hey, Kyle, you're a Jew. Up yours, fat ass. It was, it wasn't a joke. It was snappy. It was like real
just how
time.
they talk.
Yeah, it was like real time bullshit.
Characters are more natural.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly what I mean, I guess, by that character development. Is there an overarching theme to this season, though? Because, I mean, a big part of season 2 was Garrison, discovering his sexuality. And they go some places with it in this one. And season 1 wasn't really about anything. It was just about situations and making fun of people and just crude humor overall to match the animation. The animation's definitely gotten better. It's a lot more fluid, especially by this third season. It's almost kind of crazy to see how quickly it got better. Not quite where they are at now, but it was a charm, definitely. This is what I think of when I think classic South Park. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen these episodes on TV. This is elementary school stuff, This is the core to my childhood. So that's why I ask, did they even have like a theme going into this, or do you think it was just more of the same from season 2?
Season 2 wasn't as good as season 3.
Definitely not.
I think season 2 was cool because it was building story arc and character arc and stuff. But season 3 was just fucking hilarious. Like, I haven't laughed at a South Park episode, like a belly laugh, in like a while. You know what I mean? And not that it's gotten boring to me or I think it's dumb. I just think the original seasons were a lot funnier than the new seasons. I think they're doing...
It came a lot more organically.
Yeah, shit was funny, you know what I mean? Like...
I honestly think it all starts right here, and I think they would kind of agree with that too, just based on the things they've said.
Well, I don't know. I just think the characters, honestly, after season 3 didn't need any more development, and I feel like they just kept developing them.
Oh, yeah. They still are.
Yeah, and I don't think that was right, I think the gay closet, homo bashing, gay self, repressed memory, Mr. Garrison that we know and love, or anti-Semite, and horrible human being that we known to come
overall shitbag.
Yeah, I wish they would have just kept him the way he is,
Yeah, he's gone through significant changes.
Yeah.
Honestly, even in these first 3 seasons, he starts off in total denial. In the second season, they make it a point to point out that he's gay, even though he still won't admit it. And, I mean, is he still in denial in this season? I don't think he came out at any point. He is upset that he didn't get molested by his dad, which is pretty fucked up and pretty fucking homosexual. But, I don't think he actually came out and said it.
Listen, Mr. Garrison's fucking weird and crazy.
That's an understatement.
The simple fact of the matter is, man, it's okay if he's gay. There's no problem with being gay. But see, Mr. Garrison's a fucking sick, depraved pervert, and that's where we have to draw the line.
Yeah, I think that's where they started to go with him in this one.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the simple fact of the matter is, I think they developed him a little bit more, but started developing him in a different direction. Mr. Garrison, I mean, always showed signs of racism, but, we didn't see how he truly felt until we watched the fucking Christmas special now, did we?
What about, speaking of Christmas, what about Kyle? I think he honestly went through some pretty significant development too, honestly, because I think the show at first just kind of made it a joke that he was Jewish, and now it's kind of like a total point now that he is Jewish, and he puts that liberal viewpoint on the world that Cartman hates and despises, and that they channel their conservative thoughts, you could say. Not always, but whenever they get political or get to that gay little message that they've been doing since the first... I learned something today. They've been doing that since the first season, but now they're starting to, just kind of weld everything together into this nice, beautiful, hilarious, fucked up show.
Cartman is literally Hitler. I just want to get that across right now.
So let's get to this
Hitler, I got you something. A Tannenbaum.
Oh yes, a Tannenbaum. Let's get to these episodes then. So Rainforest, Main Forest, April 7th, 1999. A week later, Spontaneous Combustion. Another week later, The Succubus. Then, damn near a month, we finally get the 4th episode, Jack Officers, June 16th. Now, I'm guessing that they needed that month of May to finish up work on the movie, do any post-production, because the film came out June 30th. So, and from what I've read, Paramount Pictures didn't really help out Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Viacom is the parent company of both Comedy Central and Paramount, so they obviously busted their balls a little bit and made them travel between separate studios to work on the film and the movie in different locations on the lot.
They just really treated those fuckers badly, you know what I mean? They were probably doing so many drugs. I know I would. If I had to do a whole season
and
a whole fucking movie...
Remember, they always do the show the week of.
Right.
So these are all fresh ideas that, starting with this season, they just would do them the week of. Or they did it in season 2.
So they had to do a whole fucking movie and a whole nother season, and...
Basically on the fly. They've consistently... Their track record is doing shit at the last minute. So, yeah, they basically came up with all this shit on the fly.
That takes a special kind of stoner to do that. I just want you guys to know that.
So...
It's not a gift you just learn. That's a gift you're born with.
A week after Jack Officers, Tweak vs. Craig, June 23rd. As I said, the movie came out June 30th. Now, they made Sexual Harassment Panda. Actually, Eric Stowe directed this one, so that wasn't those last 2 episodes weren't the only ones that Eric Stowe did. But they've also said that they don't remember this episode at all, because it was the week after the movie came out and they celebrated, so...
Yeah, celebrated your fucking...
July 14th, a week after that, Cat Orgy. Now, this was the...
Great episode.
Legendary trilogy right here. This is probably their first... No, well, it's not their first multi-part episode, because we had the cliffhanger at the end of season 1 for Cartman's mom is a dirty slut. But this is the first trilogy episode, of which they've had plenty of those now.
Mr. Kitty, yeah.
So this one was conceived because they wanted to go on their break, their mid-season break, but the studio would not let them. They needed 3 more episodes. So they said, fuck, we'll just make 1 episode that showcases the whole night. You know, and they came up with that meteor shower idea. So, Cat Orgy, 2 Guys Naked in a Hot Tub followed the next week, and Jubilee followed the week after that. Up till July 28th, they finally got to go on break. That was, so, actually real quick, Hooked on Monkey Phonics was the very last episode that Mary Kay Bergman was alive for. She committed suicide the following night.
Did they ever figure out why she committed suicide?
She had a generalized anxiety disorder, never told anyone. She had suicidal thoughts and felt very low about herself, never spoke up, and that was it. I believe her and her husband had planned a vacation, actually, for the following week because she was so stressed out, and, that never happened.
You would truly think that they would have caught this. You know what I mean?
So they said, yeah, I suggest people should go look all this stuff up on their own. But I've read that, they were just shocked. They had no idea. She seemed really happy.
She was they were a smart ass,
telling her to, hey, don't overwork yourself. Take a vacation if you're getting stressed out. That was probably the extent of it to what they thought. And sadly, she killed herself. Starvin' Marvin in Space was November 17th. That was the last episode with her dialogue. The Red Badge of Gayness came out November 24th. That was the first episode they did female voices for, but Kenny's mom doesn't even speak in that episode, and she has, a minute of screen time?
Yeah.
She doesn't say anything. So, Mr. Hankey's Christmas Classics, December 1st. Oh, also, Mr. Hankey's Christmas Classics was an album that was released on November 23rd. So, after that, they were done, but then they still made the 2 more episodes. Are You There, God? It's Me, Jesus, December 29th, 1999. And then finally, the first episode of the 2000s Worldwide Recorder Concert. We'll start off with Rainforest, Main Forest.
I didn't like that episode.
Yeah, I didn't really get a vibe that you really did, honestly.
Honestly, I don't even want to talk about that episode.
Why?
I didn't like it. There's nothing in there that I found appealing besides the fact that at the end of the show they trashed the rainforest. The rainforest.
Getting gay with kids is here. You didn't.
Yeah, no, that shit's dumb, dude. Shit was whack. It was gay. It was fucking annoying. If I wanted to sit there and.
What about Lenny?
Oh, I mean, no, dude. Still, I just thought it was fucking stupid.
Jennifer Aniston was the voice of the choir teacher.
Yeah, I mean, and she fucking hated the rainforest too at the end of the show. You know what? You remember? Listen, me and fucking Cheese Finnegan here were talking the other day about all the commercials that used to come on about the rainforest. Dead ass, not more than a day ago, I was at my parents' house and I saw a video come on, a commercial for the first time in like 30,000 years for saving the rainforest. And each time...
That's such a 90s thing.
I know, dude. And every time I see it, the rainforest is getting worse and worse. And you know what I say? Good fucking riddance, dude. There's spiders, there's fucking snakes, there's animals that we probably have never even seen before.
Oh, you got a bug on your back.
Exactly.
Can you get it for me?
It's this giant fucking cockroach beetle thing. Yeah, dude, I'm okay.
Bulldozers kick ass.
Yeah, dude, fuck.
What
Tear
about
that bitch
spontaneous
down.
combustion?
Thought it was a great episode. I loved it. That was Randy's, oh my God. That was Randy's. We love you, Randy. Make love to me, Randy.
Is there? I mean, what else is going on? That was the start of Randy. Episode? Yeah, it kind of was, honestly.
That was like, no shit, Randy.
Because
Randy's
they showed him as Stan's dad.
Yeah.
Honestly, for the first real time.
What I like about when this show started, there was a bunch of parents that instantly me and Mike noticed about all the characters. Like, oh, there's Kenny's dad. Oh, there's Kyle's dad. Stan's dad. Cartman doesn't have a dad. So we were noticing all the characters, but none of them were like announced. And what I'm curious about is if they made the characters and just didn't know who the fuck to pair them up with yet.
Oh, totally.
And they were just
waiting. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
And they've just been waiting to do it. So
they just come up with ideas and we'll stick it onto this guy. Now this is his personality now, because Butters is totally different. And skipping ahead a little bit, but in the Hooked on Monkey Phonics, he's totally different. He's a dick, flat out. He's just like any of the other boys. And,
he's not our buttery Butters that we've come to know and love. He's a piece of shit.
I totally think that they just made a shitload of characters. Because, I mean, Token's been in the background this whole series, and his first speaking role is when that chick slaps his ass in that same episode. And he said, "Oh, damn, baby."
Yeah.
And, I mean, he hasn't even been in the background in every episode. He's just been in there sparingly. Yeah, I would say that they just kind of made stuff up. And I mean, I think that's pretty much the gist of this episode, right? I mean, what the fuck is really going on in this besides the spontaneous combustion thing? Is it just a Randy introduction episode, essentially?
It was probably more of climate change and shit like that. He affected the ozone because he was like, everyone's gonna fart. And,
what was it, the theory of moderation? Farts are funny, but you have to let them out. Yeah, that's fucking great. Maybe they're defending their own humor.
They could be. You know what? I wasn't thinking about that.
I didn't.
That might have been the reason for that.
That's fucking genius. Oh my god. How do you feel about fucking a succubus?
I knew it, dude. As soon as I saw that bitch, bro. That fucking bitch, I knew it. As soon as they were like, Chef comes to the door.
Great episode.
Yeah, amazing episode. Chef came to the door. His whole demeanor, I could just see it. Like, you can't see their actual facial features, like the crevices in their skin or
they're still resembling cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, no, but I definitely felt it through the screen. I was like, oh god, like I got this like paranormal chill when I first saw this episode. I was like, oh, something's wrong with that bitch.
And then of course this episode, I need about tree fitting.
Yeah, fucking.
They gave birth to Chef's parents. Oh, great fucking episode. That damn Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, no, they fucking. That was probably.
I gave him $1.
They're black Scottish, and it's the best thing in the world. I would never have thought of that in a million years.
Yeah, they don't even bat an eye. It's a goddamn succubus. They're just so used to the supernatural. Oh, I fucking love Chef's parents.
Yeah. What I love is that kids are so oblivious to what they fucking say to them. It's unreal. Like, Chef's always saying, "Come here, my little crackers." And Chef's
He's always
dad,
talking about sex.
yeah. And Chef's dad was like, he's like, "What are you four young crackers doing?" I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" But they're always saying some off the wall shit. Like,
do you think that the succubus is a good commentary on masculinity?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, it's a succubus. Now,
Right.
yeah, of course, there's the mythical beast, the succubus.
Right.
That's just
I'm not saying it's a
myths
crazy
and urban legends. I'm not saying they're real. I'm saying, do you think, as a man, you should be bowing down to a woman like that, essentially? How that fucking succubus had him by the balls. Took his manhood. Guy couldn't do shit.
Well, first off,
Chef didn't even go out with his friends.
So let me explain something. There's nothing wrong with masculinity. This world has no more masculinity. That's why we have fucking boys wearing skinny jeans, wearing dresses, and all this bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, man, before in one of the podcasts, there's nothing wrong with being gay anymore. Being gay, that has been proven. That's purely genetic. That's how you're born. Can't do anything about it, and that's not what I'm talking about. Because I've met some gay guys that are fucking masculine and make me feel unconfident about myself. You know what I mean?
They make you feel like a bitch.
They do, straight the fuck up, dude. But honestly, there's not enough masculinity in the world, and I feel like he didn't lose his masculinity. He was under a spell because, come on, it's Chef. Chef's fucked everybody in town. Chef's fucked people's wives. You know what? He's fucked Gerald's wife. And
While he was in the closet.
And you know what? He was cool with it.
Should masculinity be protected?
Yeah, most definitely. If you don't have masculinity, you don't have anything. That's why fucking kids grow up nowadays acting stupid.
I mean, like we've said before, Chef is kind of a father figure to these kids.
Right.
Mr. Garrison was in the first season, not anymore.
Right, no, Mr. Garrison's off the fucking rails right now.
I mean, their parents are definitely getting more involved in their lives, but
Yeah.
but Chef still
Chef's
giving them
there.
some lessons. Chef's still around. He's the one always talking about sex, preaching it to him, and they try to take that from him. I think there's a little more to that than just, hey, we'll pick Chef for this episode.
Right.
Is all I'm saying. I think there's a little commentary going on behind the scenes in this episode. It
Could have been
might be the best of the season.
It could have been the FCC.
Maybe.
They could have been like, hey, you got to silence Chef. And they were like, okay. Halfway through the episode, they were like, well, we silenced them.
And that's not going to stay like that.
Yeah, no. You didn't say for how long we had to silence them. 30 minutes seemed appropriate.
Well, let's go through this list and see if there's anything better than that episode. Because I say Succubus is definitely better than Spontaneous Combustion and Rainforest Main Forest. Jack Officers, I personally like the Succubus a little more. Just because...
Listen,
I think you're about to say they're fucking annoying,
fucking
right?
annoying.
Oh,
And second of all, they
God.
were so fucking high when they put that thing together. That episode.
Well, they were making fun of Jar Jar Binks.
It doesn't matter if they were making fun. They had a base to go off of, but who the fuck thinks of a jack officer? For real. Like, I'm not going to sit here in conscious thought and try to put an episode together, something like South Park, and be like, you know what? Let's make fun of Jar Jar Binks and let's call it a jack off store.
Do you not have that much disdain for the Phantom Menace?
I really hate. Listen, I fucking love the original Star Wars. I really hate the idea of metachlorians. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That right there. They turned the fucking Jedi into a blood disease. That's all I'm saying about
Star Wars only gotten worse, though.
Ooh, that's a topic for a different day.
Oh, it will be. So anyways, Tweak versus Craig. It's an okay episode. How do you feel about Tweak versus Craig?
I thought it was good. I like the fight scene. I think their banter.
I think that's really all it is supposed to boil up to, though, really.
I think the banter in between them all was good, so.
What about Pam Brady doing her live action? Richard. She says the name in every sentence.
That shit was weird, dude.
You don't think that shit was funny?
No, that shit reminded me of an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, where it was the slacks. Dude, I can't fuck with that kind of shit. It scared the shit out of me, bro. Because every time this episode aired, it was always at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm sitting in a dark room and it's like, come play with me, Richard. It's loud as fuck.
That shit sounds like it should be in a horror movie.
Right. You know?
Yeah, I get, it's an okay episode.
Come sit with me, Richard. Richard, you know?
Oh, why?
And then he's eating fucking 30 pieces of nicotine gum.
This is one of my personal favorites right here, though. Sexual harassment. Panda.
Yeah, I can't tell if he was a panda, a human.
He was a human in a panda suit, but don't tell it to him. What the fuck was that guy's name? It's like Scott.
He was like, you're fucking. Did he? Someone busted his bubble in that episode. I don't remember who it was. Telling him, you're a fucking guy in a panda suit. Yeah,
I'm a sad panda. Oh, shit. Honestly, though, that episode's only gotten more relevant when you think about it. That's all about lawsuits and sexual harassment. Yeah. I mean, we got the fucking #MeToo movement going on right now.
I don't like the simple fact that I can't say certain things anymore or do certain things. I was raised by old-fashioned people, so PC culture is not my fucking forte. I'm not a fan of it.
Does it represent a challenge to masculinity?
Oh, yeah. Oh, everyone always wants to challenge masculinity. You know what I mean?
Even other masculine figures.
Yeah, that's fair. Because they want to seem like they're compassionate, and those are the sheep. You know what I mean? When you got a man that's fucking up there, he's like, I'm the most masculine person ever. But I sympathize with you people on their issues. That's the guy that was like the fucking friend in the group who was the third wheel that was always walking behind the two friends in the front. That's that motherfucker.
So, do we count Cat Orgy, Two Guys Naked in a Hot Tub, and Jubilee as one episode? Or
we could, because Matt Stone and Trey Parker did.
Are they any better than the Succubus? Is any one of those three better than the Succubus?
I think the Hot Tub was.
The Hot Tub one, in my opinion, is the best one.
I think it was fucking hilarious because Gerald was acting like they were a couple, and it was just killing me inside. Like, you haven't talked to me all night, Randy. Well, I've just been busy. Is it because we got naked and masturbated in front of each other? Why would you say that? Well, it's okay. We can talk about it.
You know, like, you haven't talked to me all night. What's wrong?
He was acting like a bitch, bro.
Well, that's funny because I guess that means Randy's the more masculine figure, honestly, because he's the one who also says, okay, I'll start. So he initiates. That episode's fucking great.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I've seen it on TV. And then the fucking ATF, incompetent as ever. I saw an ATF raid live one time.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, in Wayne. So, yeah, these guys don't fuck around. Not at all. We remember Waco.
Yeah.
Do we remember Waco?
I do.
Oh, why don't you tell us just a smidge about Waco.
ATF, listen, bro. The ATF is a criminal terrorist organization. I don't understand why these motherfuckers have guns. First off, simple fact of the matter is, the person that was in charge of Waco, fucking idiot. And I hope to God he hears this one day. That piece of shit. Listen, there was a compound full of people. Let's call it a cult, because all they wanted to do was live on their own with no government help, didn't want to be bothered by people, wanted to grow and take water from the earth that apparently the fucking government owns. But no. What happened was there was a standoff. People ended coming out of the church, because it wasn't a cult, it was a Catholic place, right? And they ended up fucking releasing a bunch of people. ATF tried to get the people out. They didn't want to leave. The ATF stepped on their property, and the people of the property took action, legal action.
Well, the ATF also fired first.
Yeah, so that's simple as that. ATF shouldn't have done what they did. If they didn't do what they did, fucking, 16 people wouldn't have died that day?
I guess what we're ultimately saying is fuck the government.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm pretty sure that's what Matt Stone and Trey Parker said all the time.
Great episode. Phenomenal episode. And then I would say I like Cat Orgy a little bit more than Jubilee. Jubilee was a pretty good episode, but Cat Orgy is pretty fucking funny.
Let me stop you right there, Finnegan. Is Mr. Kitty a male or a female?
Mr. Kitty's female. That's why he's in... I was about to say that's why he's in Heat.
Okay, do you see why I'm asking you that? Okay, I just wanted to make sure it didn't sound crazy. When
No, Mr. Kitty's a girl, but yeah, it fucks me up every time. Yeah.
Do you think Cartman just thinks that he's a boy?
I think Cartman's incredibly confused because his mom, at this point in his life, he thinks his mom's a hermaphrodite.
So me.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I think Cartman's a little confused. Plus, they.
When were we introduced to Mr. Kitty?
Very first episode.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, he's just a confused child. That's all I think it is. And, Mr. Kitty helps him out. He talks to his. What's the word I'm looking for? Stuffed animals, Beanie Babies, whatever. Clyde Frog.
He's got a pig named Fluffy, too.
He watches a lot of TV, He's the classic weirdo in many ways without
ever being called
actually
a weirdo.
Trying to be that type of person, because he's a righty, I guess you could say. He hates hippies.
Cartman's an extremist, okay?
Yeah, so... but... seeing him interact with Stan's sister, I mean, I would have never seen that pairing making a phenomenal episode, and yet we have Cat Orgy.
That's fair.
Skyler, I'm 12. Come on, babe, give it up. That's fucking gross. They tackle pedophilia a little better
that
in
motherfucker
other
was
seasons, but that shit is fucking weird, dude.
Come on, babe, give it up. No, why not? Because I'm 12, Skylar.
Oh, fuck. So, yeah. What about Jubilee?
I thought that was fucking...
The macaroni crafts were nice, I guess.
Yeah.
The episode's pretty good. Honestly...
Pleases Moses.
Honestly... Two guys naked in a hot tub by far is the best episode of this.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So what about Korn's Groovy Pirate Ghost Mystery?
I thought it was just funny.
Yeah, it was an okay episode. Nice guest. Honestly,
Antonio
Korn
Banderas
probably did the best fucking voiceover guest hosting.
I'm almost 100% positive someone got a seizure from that fucking episode.
Because of the end?
Listen, I've watched that episode at least 100 times out of my whole life. And I do not remember those fucking strobe lights ever being that strong and that fast.
Niblet.
Yeah, and then that weird fucking floating thing. I've never understood niblet. Who the fuck is
What
niblet?
about the, and then he was able to mimic their voices with this cup and a piece of cheese. Arrgh! Yeah, and he made the pirate ghost ship with a flashlight, a cup, and 2 squirrels.
Fucking...
Their Scooby-Doo parodies have me fucking dead most of the time. They had to have been huge Hanna-Barbera fans, because only a real fan could make these kind of fucking parodies.
That was
honestly.
fucking great.
That shit was great. And honestly, I think Korn is made with Flash animation, which would be like one of the earliest types of Flash animation available. That's got to count for something, right? So, what about Shin Pokemon?
I really didn't fuck with that episode.
Is it because you're a huge Pokemon fan?
No, not at all. I fucking hated Pokemon, dude.
I still don't care for Pokemon.
It's just boring.
That Pokemon Go? Yeah, I never really liked Pokemon.
The episode was just... I feel like that was rushed.
How they felt, how the parents felt about the kids with Pokemon.
This is
like,
stupid.
that shit is like some brainwashing. How the fuck do people love this?
Yeah, no, that shit... It was generally, when I saw the first, 5 minutes of the episode, I already knew what was going to happen. I feel like it was rushed, which is understandable because they were making a fucking movie. But still, in the simple fact of the matter...
They were already coming off the movie. They had already come off the break by then.
Well...
But they were on the second half of the season.
Maybe they just didn't want... They
really might have even been out of ideas. I mean, they made a fucking movie. They might have been out of ideas.
I would have been out of ideas if I just made a whole fucking movie in half a season. So, that's not their fault. I don't even hold contempt for them at that point.
Yeah. Although I do think the message of, well, it's cool until your parents like it is... Yeah. That's always probably going to reach.
That's always been that 2000s type shit.
That's just human nature, honestly. For whatever reason, though, this episode's the one that's remembered most, I think, for Season 3. It's the box art cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it just because of Pokemon? Because, if I'm going to be honest, the episode's just a nice riff on Pokemon.
Could be just a filler to get you to come in.
You have a very big American penis. We have a very small penis. That's like the best joke they have in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have skipped Shin Pokemon. Hooked on Monkey Phonics.
Hilarious.
Great fucking episode. We've kind of already talked about that a bit. Honestly, I kind of like that episode a little more than the Succubus.
Super funny.
Might be the best.
I just like the monkey, bro, because the monkey was...
Come on, Phonics Monkey. He starts beating his meat.
Fucking the monkey killed Kenny, and he was like, "Oh my God, you killed Kenny!" And fucking Cartman was like, "Yeah, he did."
Damn straight he did. Damn. Hooked on Monkey Phonics. Yeah, that was a pretty fucking good episode.
It was super funny too, because
I just don't know what it has to do with the primary episode, though.
Well, this is the thing. This is where I kind of understood. I'm pretty sure Matt Stone and Trey Parker have daughters, and
Did they have kids in '99 though?
But that's
because they were in their early 20s.
Anybody that's owned that knows that's the stupidest fucking thing ever to come out. Great idea, but it didn't really fucking do anything. Oh yeah, this is gonna help you read. Chalk. Say it. Chalk. Well, how the fuck do you spell chalk still, man? Doesn't really help you figure that one out, does it?
This episode's got good themes though.
Yeah,
public school, homeschooling. It's got a good issue on that. Public schooling definitely has a significant amount of downsides, especially if you're getting bullied.
Homeschool, when it comes to learning, you learn a lot more because you're teaching your kids what they need to learn and what.
Yeah, if you're a good parent.
Yeah, unlike fucking Cartman's, where she was like, "Well, I'll just sit her right here." Yeah.
Seriously, guys. There's no one around. Oh, yeah. That's the episode where Kenny and Stan just walk in from completely out of frame, nowhere, right? Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. At the third season, that shit shouldn't be happening anymore.
They were doing whatever they wanted to. They were just trying to get that fucking season over with.
Starvin' Marvin in Space is the next one.
Love Starvin' Marvin.
Honestly.
Marklar.
Marklar? These Marklars don't want Marklar. Yeah, that was a good fucking episode. Yeah. I don't think it's better.
And then, it started Kyle's gay little speeches, dude. That was Kyle's, real first gay speech.
Well, yeah, because that was the Marklar speech. Yeah. That was, that was definitely the most, I guess, tapped into humanity, rather than just out of nowhere random message that you're like, oh, okay, so that's the point of this episode. Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. That's what the season 1 callback, though, because they go back to Starvin' Marvin with this episode. And Corn's Groovy Pirate Mystery went back to the very first Halloween episode with Pink Eye, where Wendy wins the fucking costume contest again. You know, they just have subtle callbacks to earlier episodes that really strengthen the mythos, I guess.
Well, not just that. It shows. I think what they were doing is it shows how far they progressed
in such a short amount of time.
Yeah,
really.
It's like
they've already done interdimensional travel in the 3rd season.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They ripped Sally Struthers a fucking new one
again
after apologizing to her the first time.
Right.
Yeah, Starvin' Marvin in Space is pretty much a classic. But then we get to the Red Badge of Gayness, which was voted the best episode in this season. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Probably.
The Schnapps.
Yeah.
The Schmore Schnapps.
Yeah. I think
honestly, I kind of don't want to say anything about this episode because I kind of agree. I mean, I think people should really go see this one for itself. You got Civil War revisionary history.
Listen.
You've got Cartman pretending to be someone else, which he does a lot.
And he's very good at.
And he's very good at. You've got just the most ridiculous fucking premise.
What? You know what?
The South comes back after losing the Civil... What?
You know what I love?
They're just drunk.
Cartman can pick up anything, and for some reason people just fucking float with it. Drunk or not, high or not, they just fucking listen to Cartman, and I've never understood it. You know what I mean?
Master manipulator.
Dude, if they did an episode where he literally I mean, he's done episodes where he acted like Hitler, but he's never really acted out on anything he's done. Dog, if they wanted to go this route, off rip. Cartman is a horrible human being. He is a
by this season, it's
horrible. Surprisingly too, he's
not even as well developed yet. He's still just spouting off respect my authority and making people trying to bow down to him.
Listen, Cartman,
he's still, for all intents and purposes, pardon the pun as well, a cardboard cutout.
Cartman is and will ever be the most well-developed character ever in South Park. To this day, there is no one that is more developed than Cartman.
So, is Mr. Hankey's Christmas Classics the best Christmas episode we got
Absolutely.
thus far? I love all those songs.
Mr. Garrison's is the one
I used to sing those in elementary school all
the
time.
Hey there, Mr. Hindu. Merry fucking Christmas. Get up off your
Merry fucking Christmas to you. I'm not even going to say much about the episode because it's really just filler, kinda, but it's fucking great. Yeah. Especially since they were able to make an album.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I thought this was great.
We'll just go to the last 2 episodes then to close this out. We got the Y2K, Are You There, God? It's Me, Jesus, which just tackles the subject of masculinity once again. And that might be the overarching theme, honestly.
Well, it also tackles the idea, maybe God is a fucking monkey tail snake platypus.
It's a possibility. We don't know. Some would argue all religion is bullshit. I'm not here to make that call. I'm just here to say that South Park approached it incredibly well.
Right.
They
did the spaghetti monster theory.
They grew up Catholic, and I think they've said at this point they identified as Catholic, but that
they just need to make fun of it.
They still bash everything equally. And I mean, Y2K was so fucking big, people really did think it was going to be like the second coming of Jesus because everyone was going to die. And yet here we just get them riffing on it. No, we'll be okay. Don't be a little fucking bitch.
Yeah. Everyone
boys can't get their period.
Right.
It's kind of a nice little commentary on us as a society, honestly.
People are dying, starving, and people are, in famine and shit like that. And, God gives you one question. One question and one answer.
And we come to him with our fucking first world problem.
Yeah.
Worldwide Recorder Concert then. Closes this thing out.
The Brown Note.
The Brown Note.
Great. That place was covered in shit when they got done with that.
What's better, the Brown Note storyline or the Mr. Garrison storyline that really
The
puts a
Mr.
bow on his
Garrison
development.
Mr. Garrison storyline.
I want to talk about the sexual abuse, Dad. What? I never sexually abused you. I know. You could go down Rodham Street with any hooker, but couldn't have time for your own son.
What I don't understand is why his mom was just so shocked that he didn't molest him. Like, his mom was like, no, I don't believe it. And then she brought it up to him, and he's like, of course I didn't molest my son. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with these people?
Hey,
Oh,
man.
you know what? Funny nod. Mr. Garrison was supposed to run that gas station with his dad. Because if you look at it, it says Garrison and Son, but it says Garrison and then Son's crossed out with like a Sharpie.
Probably because he wouldn't molest him.
Could have been.
I don't know, man. There's many different ways you can
Just walking up the steps, he's like, I'm gonna go to bed now.
look at the world, I guess.
Good night. He's like, I don't have any pajamas, so I might just sleep in my
Is that
boxers.
the overall theme to that
What?
episode? There's just different ways to look at life, because you got the New York kids and you got the South Park guys, and then you got Mr. Garrison and his dad, although I wouldn't agree with Mr. Garrison's outlook on the world.
Absolutely not.
Not in the slightest.
I really hope you don't either.
Oh, God.
The New York kids, I guess it is. You know, we're all equal. Besides Mr. Garrison and his family, they're fucked up. I'm talking
I just
like
want to go back to being a normal family, is what he said.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
the South Park kids and New York kids. At the end of the day, they're all the same. They're kids. You know, they want to talk like shitheads. They want to treat people like shit. Let's be honest. We were all pieces of shit when we were their age. We acted like we were all cute and innocent and we waited for Christmas and our birthday. But no, deep down, we were just horrible human beings, ready to sprout our wings in this godforsaken world.